Hi and welcome back to 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗏. Today guys, we are jumping down into the charts for Bitcoin to see what's been going on most recently and what I think is likely to happen next. Some key levels were taken out and this does actually change the structure of a few things. So as I get into this video, if you do find it useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so, you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at 𝗕𝗘𝗪𝗧𝗏. If you haven't yet joined us in Discord, links in the description down below. Fantastic community talking crypto 24/7. It's completely free to join. I don't think you'll be disappointed by what you find down there. Right, let's jump right on down into this then. So Bitcoin paired up with the USDT. This is the hourly chart and Binance is our data source. Now, we obviously were tracking a very choppy corrective move, right? It was a big ABC move. Now, we actually went past the 1.618 at 41,200, and this is now an impulsive move, right? So it's actually a wave 1, wave 2, wave 3, wave 4, and 5 still to happen, okay? I can go ahead and actually see that we moved this down even lower, so we can drop that down there. Okay, and we have a fourth and a fifth wave yet to happen. Now, inside here, we've got some interesting structures, right? So what we're going to just talk about a little bit here is what a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 structure would be, right? So we have an impulsive structure like this. An impulsive structure is usually made up of a subwave count of 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. However, in crypto, sometimes this just doesn't happen. There's not enough liquidity to get the perfect subwave counts, right? Now, we were tracking some pretty good subwave counts on the way up on many different altcoins before we started to see this pullback, right? And they were following a very good structure. Now here, what do we actually have? Well, we don't have a 5, 3, 5, 3, 5. In fact, we've got a very choppy 3, 3, 5. Then we've got an ABC. And then we've got a 5, 3, 5, right? And essentially, we haven't really got that structure that you'd expect to see. So it doesn't mean that this is not an impulsive structure, but it is something that we need to consider as a possible impersonation of one. Okay, so what I'm thinking here is that we obviously have got this mapped out as an impulsive structure, and we have to do this because it's past some key levels, and it's a really overextended C wave. And it can, of course, be an overextended C wave if we were to invalidate this as an impulsive structure. So for invalidation of this structure to occur, the price of Bitcoin has to go higher than $44,200. Inside this fourth wave here, it have to cross this dashed line just up here. Okay, that's quite a steep way for it to bounce up, but something that I was kind of thinking was going to happen anyway, right? Is a significant bounce coming for Bitcoin? Is it just a regular fourth wave, or is it going to cross this 44,200? This is something that we just simply do not know at this point, right? The sentiment is still, you know, quite fearful in the space, so we want to be kind of open to the idea, though, that actually as price starts to rally up here, as we start to get the bounce, we might cross that level, okay? And I only say this just because we don't have that 5, 3, 5, 3, 5, 3, 5 structure, right? We've had a very choppy corrective structure instead. So with corrective patterns inside, is this actually just an ABC being disguised as an impulsive move? We don't know, but I'm going to say that I have an inkling that it might just be. Okay, so for now, we will obviously leave our fourth wave down here. But we will be looking at 44,200 as a key level that we want to go past before we have that major pullback down. Now, what we are going to do is I'm going to tidy up some of these subwaves. I'm just going to get rid of some of the noise. What we're going to do is get rid of all of this, and then I'm going to do some measurements and see what's actually occurring here, right? Is there anything to kind of be worried about per se, right? So obviously don't need that one anymore, but I am going to take the low point that we were at all the way up to the high point of our wave 3. Okay, so this entire measurement is our wave 3 measurement. Then I'm going to grab a rectangular box here, and what I'm going to do is I'm going to throw on this rectangular box where our wave 4 typically would move to, right? And it's basically right here. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to measure that. I'm actually going to grab price label. I think that would be better. And we grab hold of a price note. I do like the price note slightly better. So we'll grab that. We got 40,100. Okay. All the way up to as high as 42,177. Okay, so that's the yellow box area. That's our typical fourth wave correction, right? So it should end up somewhere in this range. And as you can see, we've kind of hit that lower range already. Okay, and we could crash back down, or we could continue to run up. Now the fifth wave goes, anywhere between 1.236 and 1.618 of this fourth wave, right? So we'd grab another fib, run it from our low point. Let's hypothetically say we go all the way to the top there. Then our low point would essentially be all the way over here, like so. So our fifth wave would be down at the bottom. And I'll go ahead and throw that on. And again, these are numbers that we've spoken about before quite a bit on the channel, so these aren't going to be too scary, but basically 37.5k up to about 38.5k right now. I'll just go ahead and delete that. So if the fourth wave was to go all the way up to 42,177, then essentially we could drop down all the way to 37.5k. Now, why is that important? Well, it's important because it actually tests us on this trend line, right? This trend line here is the line that we've been talking about for a while. We had the $47,000 to $48,000 rally up high, and now we're having this structure pull all the way down. So if we don't go higher than 44,200, then we should be open to the idea that actually there's going to be a bounce going up and then a deeper correction taking us to $37,500. Testing this trend line, maybe a little bit lower, just hitting that line, and then bam, from there we should then move on up. Now the other thing that's important to note here, 5 moves like this and a very choppy corrective move going down, in terms of we've got all the corrections in the subwaves that are very, very choppy, but essentially it's an impulsive structure, but it's a corrective pattern within the impulsive structure. It could also be a different take. We could have 5 waves go down, 3 waves go up, and then an additional 5 waves come down. Okay, and that basically makes a 5-3-5 corrective pattern, not an impulsive structure, but a corrective structure instead. And this is something else that could be going on here with Bitcoin. Either way, after this fifth wave down, we would be expecting some kind of ABC move to the upside, okay? And I would expect it to actually be pretty reasonable, because going down to 37k, I would expect us to pretty much basically hit out and take out the weekly stochastic RSI, okay? So big ABC. Now it could of course be something the size of this. It could be absolutely massive. But I would expect it not to cross the high of 48k unless we actually go into a bigger kind of expanding kind of flat correction, right? A big A wave down here with the 5 sub wave count, a big B wave going up with a 3 wave count, and then another big 5 waves coming back down into the lower ranges. So not something that we'd want to necessarily see, because it would mean there's a lot more pain to come at a slightly later stage. Okay, so I'm expecting to keep this below 48k, and then we would end up with one final pullback, like so, right? Essentially, potentially coming down lower than this, unless it becomes a running flat, of course, in which case it would be a 5-3-5, but the last 5 waves are shorter. And lots of things to kind of hypothesize about, but I think the main takeaway here is that if this fourth wave does not go above 44,200, then we should be thinking about the fourth wave and the fifth wave coming down towards 37.5, and then some kind of ABC structure appearing, moving on up a little bit, getting a little bit of relief, and really taking it away from there. It has unfortunately been quite deep, this correction. We can see that we do need to have a bit of a correction on our hourly chart right now, so we're not done here. The 4 hourly is oversold, the 8 hourly is oversold, the daily is oversold, and the weekly is starting to correct quite a bit here. So again, if we were to come down to 37.5k, I would like to think that that weekly stochastic RSI will be significantly lower at that point. And overall we're still within the bigger macro structure of our impulsive structure, and right now this could be some kind of really deep corrective play going on, and that could pretty much end the correction here for Bitcoin before we start to see a bigger move going up later. But I think we'd have to see that 535 at least. So I think there's a little bit of volatility on the smaller time frames, but for the most part we're still tracking nicely to the upside here on Bitcoin. I'm going to leave the video there, guys. If you have found this video useful and informative, hit the like button. I really do appreciate that. If you happen to be new to the channel, why not go ahead and subscribe, tap the bell, select all notifications, and in doing so you will be kept up to date with everything that we do here at Cheeky Crypto. With all that said, done, and out of the way, I hope everyone has a fantastic day, and I'll catch you all in the next one.